outside of itself with the spouse outside of itself, because there is nothing outside of the all. Do you understand? Let us go deeper. Let's dance. So now we know that the all could not have created things via anything outside of itself. We know that all things are created inside of the all by way of the all. Like if you create a painting, you've put yourself in that painting. A part of your personality is in whatever you create, and whatever you create is inside of you, if you understand what I'm saying. So now when you think about God, like let's say if I write a novel, I used this example before, and one of the characters, I want to give that character a bit of personality. So I look for somebody in my life that cracks me up. Like let's say it's my dad, and then I say, okay, the Pharaoh second in my story, Sight Beyond Sight, the legacy, I based him on my father, rest in peace, Pops, but I base his whole character on my father. So this is an example of me saying, if you create something, there's an aspect of you, whether it's your personality, whether it's your likes or dislikes, something in your lived experience is going to filter through into that painting or that rap song or that book or that drawing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you inject a part of your essence, a part of your personality, an intimate part of yourself into whatever you're creating, especially art, right? Writing and that type of stuff. So in the same way, when the Most High or the All, the great mind of God is creating, it puts a part of itself inside of that creation. And being that we're all inside this thing that they're calling the universe, we are inside of the All. So if I say, Anuki fipa ashug shil kulum wa kul ashug kalun fini, what I just said there in the old Egyptian is, I am a part of the All and all is a part of me. Anuki fipa ashug shil kulum wa kul ashug kalun fini. I am a part of the all and all is a part of me. You understand what I'm saying? That's not that's not a simple statement. That's like a quantum affirmation. See, when people run around here, these YTs talking about affirmations for gratitude and that, what I'm giving you here is a quantum affirmation that works in all 12 dimensions. You understand that? So if you really say that at both ends of the day and learn it in the sacred language of tones and make that vibrate through you, you open up codes in your DNA and shit, man. It's that serious. You understand? Hold on. Yeah. We know that all things are created inside of the all by way of the all. It creates things in and of itself at the same time as remaining itself, the all, right? And you can read Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, and it says, and the Lord Yahuwah or Yahweh breathed his spirit into the man, and the man became a living soul. So the Bible's telling you the same thing I'm telling you here. This is Genesis 2, verse 7 in your Bible, the King James one. In my Torah is actually verse 4, but in the standard Bible, turn to Genesis 2, verse 7, and it will tell you the Most High breathed his spirit into this Adam, into this man, and the man became a living soul. So it's telling you the same thing I'm telling you here when I say, Anuki fipa ashug shil kulum wa kul ashug kalun fini. I am a part of the all and all is a part of me, right? And yet we are with the all and the all is within us. But how? How does the all manage to create anything then? I've already gave you the answer, but in the book, if you was just reading, you wouldn't have come to the answer yet. That's why it seems like we're going back on ourselves, right? But yeah, the all creates within the mind. As all things are alive within the mind of God, the ether, the ether that translates as the great void, or what our scientists tell us is emptiness, is empty space. It's a great void, in our physical universe. When we gaze up at the stars into what they call space, and what is space but a sea of boundless ether in which all physical things are suspended and are swimming through. Picture this ether, the one thing, the first matter, as the sea or the ocean, and picture the physical creations as one would picture the sea life in all its diverse forms, living in the sea, ocean, swimming through the sea of consciousness, right? We are all swimming within a boundless ocean of consciousness, which is the great mind of God. In the very same way as the sea life in the sea, or your thoughts through your mind, right? All is in the mind, all is mind. The universe is mental, held within the mind of the all. And when you open up the Kybalion into Hermeticism, there's 9 principles. The first principle is mentalism. And Tahuti says, if you don't understand this first principle, close the book. You can't learn this science. You have to learn the first principle to understand any of the other 8 principles. This first one, and it's called mentalism, and it says, and I quote, all is mind. The universe is mental, held within the mind of the all. So when you hear people running around here talk about everything is energy, everything is energy. No, it's not. Everything is mental energy, right? As all these thoughts, the thoughts of the Most High, you see them as the forces of nature. Gravity, strong electric force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, electromagnetism. You understand what I'm saying? All of them laws of physics, yeah, and all of them, what you call the forces of Mother Nature, is actually the thoughts of the Most High. That he's having, or it's having, because it's male and female when we're talking about the mind of God. You got centripetal and centrifugal energy, right? Let's go on anyway. I know y'all with me because y'all are smart, I can tell. Right. Yeah. Yeah, all is mind. So that's the first principle. So everything is not energy. We are in a mental universe. We're not in a gravitational universe. Gravity is not a cause, it's an effect. So there's parts of the universe where gravity doesn't even exist. For gravity to exist, you have to have spin, and you have to have hard, solid planets. So there's places in the universe which have gas planets and stuff. It's not even solid, right? So gravity is an effect. It's not a cause. Yeah. If you want to say replace gravity, replace it with attraction. The force of attraction and repulsion. That's real, right? That's cause. Yeah. But gravity is just an effect, right? So we're not in a gravitational universe. We're not in an energetic universe. Everything is not energy. We're in a mental universe. That's why through the mind, you can transcend any problem or anything in this realm. It's all through your mind, through your mental. Just like if you tell yourself you can, you're right. If you tell yourself you can't, you're right. Both times. Whatever you tell yourself, you're right. Because we're in a mental universe. We're not in, everything is not energy. Stop saying that. Stop letting people say that to you. Tell them no, everything is mental energy. Because even thoughts have a type of energy behind it. But it's mental energy. It's not just any old energy, like steam, yeah? Or the steam, no. It's mental. There's thought, there's intention behind it from the Most High. This is not an accident. Like these YTs are telling you, Darwinism, it's just an accident. No. There's a force behind this. Do you understand? Right, let's go. So one more time, principle 1 in the Kybalion is mentalism. And I quote, all is mind. The universe is mental, held within the mind of the all, right? In quantum mechanics, it is the same as saying the unified field theory. Write this down. Unified field theory. It's a scientific thing. And go and do a brief study yourself of this thing called the unified field theory. It's relatively new, and it's to do with quantum. And it's everything I'm saying here, how all things are tied back to this universal consciousness or this great mind of God, and they can't escape from it. Even these atheist scientists that don't want to acknowledge that there's a force over all of us, now they're having to double back and say, wow, it seems like this unified field theory is the business, right? So this is what book 6 is basing on, but I'm giving you a bit of it right here, right? In the Black Root science, this is referred to as the original 1 billion, 8 million, and make note that 1 plus 8 equals 9. So we're still in the 9 either. So the Black Root says there's originally 1 billion, 8 million, what's called consciousness centers, or what we would call minds, and they're unified into a whole. And this is what science is calling the unified field theory, the same as we're calling the all that there ever was, that there ever is, and that there ever will be, unified into one force, right? Yeah, so you're talking all the 9 noble gases, everything. It's the most potent force in the whole universe that manifests as 9 either, right? Hold on. Yeah, so 1 billion, 8 million unified, melanated minds. Yet creation happened twice. First, it happened upon the spiritual plane, and then long after, I'm talking like 70,000 years after, 80,000 years after, yeah, it manifested as the physical or material plane, yeah. Both are governed by the mental plane. So you got the mental plane, the spiritual plane, the physical plane. Both the physical and the spiritual plane are governed by the mental plane, right? Mental plane of existence, and each plane is influenced by the one above it. There are three known states of existence, three known to man: solid, liquid, and gas. Yet there are more states of existence, yet unknown to man. The Razaku, or the black Anunnaki gods, have the ability and technology to operate outside of these three states: solid, liquid, gas, of existence, as in the case of the many advanced UFO technology, defying the laws of physics being witnessed in the skies today. On the spiritual plane, the square and the circle is the same thing. Why do I say that? Because a circle is 360 degrees, right? And so is a square, because a square's got four 90-degree angles, and 4 times 90 is 360. So on the spiritual plane, it goes by quantity. It's not about how it looks or nothing. The fact that both add up to 360 degrees on the spiritual plane, that means the square and the circle is the same thing, or at least represents the same thing. Do you understand? Therefore, shapes appear much different on the spiritual plane, which vibrates from the 5th density or 5th dimension upwards. It was Anu who created the shapes, sacred geometry, placing the circle inside of the square. And this now is the real Freemasonry, where Freemasonry comes from, with the compass and T-square. This is the science of the gods I'm about to give you, yeah? Let me start again. It was Anu who created the shapes, yeah? Sacred geometry, placing the circle inside of the square. The square could not contain the circle. Because of the outward force the circle was exerting on it. So the circle is a masculine shape, because it's pushing force, meaning because it's a circle, all its force is directed outwards in every direction. So it's pushing outwards. That's why the sun is a circle and not a square. Do you understand? Because it's masculine energy gushing forward, pushing forward, ejaculating light, throwing out solar flares. It's throwing it out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? Whereas the square now is a feminine shape, because the square now is holding everything in, like your house. Your house nurtures you, right? It's more like a square. You got walls around you. It keeps everything in. It's pulling everything inside. It's grounding everything. It's a feminine energy. So all its force is directed inwards. So now if you put the circle inside the square's trying to keep everything in, and the circle's trying to push everything out. Do you understand this tug of war? So the square couldn't hold a circle. The masculine's too strong, right? Bang! That's what you call the big bang. When that bang happens now, it goes outward and then sucks itself in. So it turns inside out. It implodes, right? And now you get what's called the atom, or the atom, or the Adam and Eve. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now you're getting the building blocks of life in this physical gross matter universe. You see, I've took the fairy tale away. You don't need no God floating out the sky with no wings in his back. You don't need Jesus waking up with no blood in his body. None of that stuff. All you need is common sense, which ain't too common nowadays. But if you double down, you start to see through the bullshit and see what's real. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm taking the time to go through this shit with you guys, right? Hold on. So where was I about the square in the circle? Right. Yeah. Right. So yeah. Yeah. Placing the circle inside of the square. Now you know the tug of war that was going on with that. Yeah. The square could not contain the circle. Because of the outward force the circle was exerting on it in all directions, and the circle exploded and then imploded upon itself and reversed. This was the birth of the physical atom, or atom, and from atoms to atom to Adam, the building blocks of physical life were created. Yeah, the sacred numbers called the Fibonacci sequence, the musical scale, the golden triangle, the sacred phi ratio, the golden section, etc., the sacred masculine in the great mind of God, the passive aspect, time in brackets, acts upon the divine feminine in the great mind of God, the active aspect, Mother Nature in brackets. Yeah, so time, or the mind of God, acts upon Mother Nature, and Mother Nature grounds this shit in matter. Yeah, she brings forth the will of the God. Just like your woman, you put your will on your woman, or you put your willy in your woman, and she grounds your shit in matter, right? She nurtures that and gives you back more than what you even asked for, right? Using this high science of sacred geometry, the physical universe, what you see here, was manifested, or is manifested, within the all, by way of the all. Remember that part. a thought-based light matrix, which is the correct way to view the holographic computer simulation theory. So we're not in a computer-generated holographic simulation. The Mzungu, they have created a generated holographic simulation that they've trapped a lot of people's minds in. But we weren't created, like God never created no goddamn computer generated holographic goddamn stimulation. They created that shit and trapped niggas in there. What God created is a light matrix. All of us are light beings or different frequencies of light, vibration, right? So this is a light matrix. They've changed it into a computer generated holographic simulation, right? So make sure you hold on to that too. Otherwise, when you hear people out here talking about this simulation theory, you'll accept that this, meaning the original shit, is some type of holographic computer generated simulation. Come on, what do you think? God is some type of dickhead? Do you understand what I'm saying? The base reality is not this, what we're in now. This, what we're in now, if you want to say this is a computer generated holographic simulation, that means we're not in the correct reality. We're in another reality, you know, like Inception, when they have a dream and then inside that dream, they have another dream, then inside that dream, they have another dream. So when you wake up, you don't even know if you're in the real world, if you're in dream 2 or dream 3, or you could wake up from dream 4 and you're only still in dream 2 and you think you're in the real world. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's crazy. So it's the same now what they've did with this, what we're calling reality. And that's why they're telling us perception is reality, right? Because there's a whole bunch of different timelines running parallel right now on Earth. So we're all in the same world, but we're not all on the same timeline. We're not all on the same dimension. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanted to say that, yeah. A thought-based light matrix. Remember, it's the thoughts of the Most High. The Most High's thoughts is what's created this base reality for us. They've took that and limited it. Like, let's say out of the 100% base reality, they've trapped us in 20% of it. And now we think this 20% of reality is really the whole thing, when there's 80% more to this shit. Like how I revealed to you guys about time, how time doesn't start from a second. Nothing starts from a second, right? Time starts with 100 moments in every first, and 100 firsts in every second, and 100 seconds in every hour. They've started this at a second, right? Nothing else in this world starts at a second. You have to start from a first. And on top of that, they've already took 40 seconds also, because they say, oh, it's just 60 seconds a minute. It's not 100 seconds, like 100 milliliters make a liter. Yeah, everything else is 100. But for our time, they tell us, oh, it's just 60 seconds. Yeah, and 60 minutes in an hour. Yeah, no, it fucking ain't. It's 100 seconds in every minute. It's 100 minutes in every hour. Do you understand? So they even robbing us time. Why do you think time's so short already? You nigga ain't got time for nothing. You understand what I'm saying, mate? We have to laugh, yeah, to take away the seriousness of what we're talking about. Because otherwise, I'll just sound like a doomsday prophet. Like, yo, have you heard your death rate? This guy's a madman. We could talk about that another time. Like, just have a live on time itself, yeah. Hold on. Where am I? Yeah. So a thought-based light matrix, which is the correct way to view the holographic computer simulation theory. It is the demiurge coming from the impure amber light illumination that has hacked and distorted our reality and imprisoned us within a holographic computer-generated simulation far from the base reality, right? Yet all of these simulations within simulations are still inside of the great mind of God, which is the base reality, right? So I hope that makes sense. When a new ruler is crowned, now back to these Anunnaki, these beings, yeah? These melanated beings with woolly hair and shit, right? When a new ruler is crowned, he is given 9 tools of office as the Anu, including the crown of life and the staff seen depicted in the hand of Anu. So here's a depiction of Anu right here. I don't think you can see his hands. The picture's a bit close. But if you could see the full depiction here, you'll see there's certain things he's holding in his hands. Like there's a staff and there's a wreath, like olive branch, a wreath of olives and stuff. That olive wreath thing is life-giving. That is a symbol that these Anus, once they get into office, they have the power to create light. Yeah, you see the Stargate around his waist, right? So like they show you in X-Men, Apoco, he can just make a portal and step through it, and anywhere he's going, he reaches there in one step. He just takes one step into that portal. Yo, I'm going to Arabia, nigga. And then by the time I step into this thing, when I step out of it, I'm stepping out in Mecca and that. Like, yo, that You understand? So you see this stargate around his waist, meaning he can move anywhere with one step. Now the Muslims took this. They say that when Muhammad, peace be upon him, right, went on his pilgrimage into the heavens, right, that he went on a donkey called Burak. And they say this Burak, this heavenly steed, yeah, is a mule or donkey, heavenly steed, right? Anywhere it's going, it reaches there in one step. It takes one step and it's already reached there. If you're Muslim, you may have heard this already in the hadiths or sunnahs, right? About Burak. But what that's really talking about is this Anunnaki technology, because Burak is not no donkey or mule, because you can't show me a donkey or mule now that can step somewhere in one step and it goes where it's supposed to go. But if I told you, okay, that was talking about a fleet of UFOs, when it was telling you about Burak, it was telling you about a fleet of UFOs that Muhammad, peace be upon him, the real one, Mustafa Muhammad Al-Amin, 570 to 632 AD, he traveled in them crafts. And them crafts, like I just showed you with this Anunnaki risk technology, they operate outside of the three states of existence that I just told you about. So with one, yo, push that button, bing, we're going to Ilium, bing, you understand? Them man are beamed to the next part. You understand? That makes way more sense than you having to believe you're a donkey with wings on, probably a fucking horn in his forehead, yeah? And you jump on the back of the shit, hold on to his hair and that. Don't worry about no saddle. Just hold on to the hair and shit now, yeah? And yo, he's gonna take one step. Yo, what's easier to believe? You understand what I'm saying? It's like Jonah and the whale. Okay, Jonah and the whale or Jonah and the submarine. The Anunnaki had submarines. They picked him up in a submarine. Yeah? Or do you really think a killer whale like Orca or a blue whale like Moby Dick swallowed my man, burp, yeah? Kept him in the belly for like 1 week. He just sat down on a stool in the whale's belly, yeah? And then the whale just thought, let me just pull up near Nineveh and spit my man out on the seashore. What's easier to believe? That Enki and them Anunnakis had submarines and shit and was picking certain man up, or a blue whale called Moby Dick came and swallowed a man up, kept him in his belly for a whole week, and then spat him up on the seashore. Come on, guys, man, we in 2026 now. Jedef right here. We ain't got time for this fairy tale shit no more. Do you understand? Yeah, so like I said, when a new ruler is crowned, meaning a new Anu, when the Anu, the Most High, is crowned as the Most High, he's given 9 tools of office. Yeah, the crown of life, the staff, that stargate around his waist, that olive, the reefs. I'll let you find out the rest. I'm not going to give you all of them, right?